for your Overwatch. This time we're going to be covering some of the new ranked play settings that are going to be coming into effect in Season 2. They've already been testing it on PTR. I've been on there a lot, and in fact, they've made a current change that's done a lot. And right now, we're watching a play of the game by... yeah, that's actually Reaver from Cloud9. I queued up against him in quick play. I thought that added a little bit of context to this concept because it'll go into the idea of playing people above your rank elsewhere in the video. Reaver was very good. That's how I would describe him. Way above my level, and it was very impressive on all the characters he played. He's actually a hit scan player. He's even better on McCree. It's insane to watch someone just walk towards you at all times and never miss. It's a really weird feeling. But... anyway, most recently, for those of you who've been on the PTR, might have noticed that they seem to have, quote, broken the ranks, which kind of was our immediate thought as well. We didn't understand why all of a sudden we were getting 2 points for a win, but we're still losing the normal amount when we lost. Well, on the PTR, they did some corrective measures, which was my prompt to make this video, but we'll also get into talking about the entirety of ranked. What they wanted to do was to correct placement matches, because as we know, the supports were kind of getting screwed over in that they were getting far less rank, and it seemed like the way the placement match system was working was completely off, and it was placing people even higher than they were supposed to be. And in order to correct that, everyone is sort of going through this algorithm process where you have to sort of fight to keep your rank. So if I'm in Platinum, I have to win multiple games in Platinum before I'm going to go back to getting my normal win bonus. That's basically how it works. So it's correcting itself. This won't be in Season 2 in terms of the drastic numbers you see, but what it will do is have an effect of deflating the ranks. So what does that mean? Well, if the ranks are inflated, then it will feel like everyone can get into a high rank. It won't mean anything. Whereas if they deflate the value of the skill rating system, then theoretically, at least from what I can tell, it will be possible to have a much more descriptive myriad of ranks, whereas now it feels a little bit too broad and not as specific as they want it to be. They're trying to really hone this to make it as good as I suppose StarCraft 2's was. If you're familiar with that system, it has the same exact names from Silver to Grandmaster, but then... it was a lot harder back in the day, maybe I was just bad at StarCraft, who knows, to get into Grandmaster. Like, it meant a lot. Now, I think that is the case now, but some of the middle ranks seem a little too fluid for my liking, and I wouldn't mind at all if Platinum rank meant more. So our immediate response is like, oh man, I don't want to lose my rank. Rank means so much. I want to get it to Master. But if everyone... it has to be better to get into Platinum, it just makes Platinum worth more, if that makes sense. So hopefully when this goes live into Season 2, which is set to come out, I believe, next week, but they always have the right to change their mind. They're Blizzard. They do what they want. But overall, I do think that the system is good. I hope it is as accurate as I'm describing it to be, where... you have to be pretty good to get into Platinum, and then you start getting into the really good category, into Masters, whereas right now it feels like Masters players are simply understand the game a bit more, and then Grandmasters are like the pros who grind the game forever, and the middle ranks don't really accurately describe what I think they should. So that's all wrapped up, fine and well. It's going to feel weird for you to get 2 points a win for a little bit if you're playing on PTR, but hey, not everybody has been playing on PTR, so allow me to break down my review of this new ranking system before it goes live. First, a quick refresher of what they actually did. No longer is the 1 to 100 system, now they have the 1 to 5,000 system. Now that number in other systems just wouldn't be there. You would just get the medal in the different 7 tier rankings. But in Overwatch, since they didn't have this ready at launch, they're trying to go the extra mile to make it as transparent and useful as possible. And I would say that's been achieved, because back in the 1 to 100 system, there seemed to be like a densely pocketed area around like 60 to 65, where there was like 5 ranks where that really meant a lot, and then once you jump to that next level, there was a whole nother extra level of play. Like, I saw a distinct difference between everyone being a 60 and everyone being a 65, and that's only 5 ranks of difference, and the number being so close didn't really feel like that was the case. But the way the algorithm worked out, that probably was multiple percentage points above. So like 60 used to be, I think, let's say top 8%, and 65 was already like top 2%. That's just many thousands more ranking up. Whereas now, when you have more numbers, it allows for the numbers to be more descriptive. So thus far, I would say the old rank 60 is probably about 3,000, or let's say 30 with a couple decimal places in the new ranking system, but now you get a medal attached to it, which works very well. I like that. And as long as these new fixes to the system that they're trying end up panning out, that should be good too. Here are some issues that I do have with it though. I feel like we're going to have to pick our poison with this matchmaking system with one way or another. One, it doesn't give you any options, first of all. So all the different preferences that the different players have are never going to be met. If we're never going to have any queuing options, someone is going to be upset. If we had queuing options, then people could choose whether they want to play in a party, against a party, on what maps. But instead, we're just in general queue, so I'll move forward from this point, assuming that they're not changing that, because that seems to be a design philosophy that they're not going to stray from. Then again, they said unlimited pick was a design philosophy they weren't going to stray from, so who knows? But for the sake of argument, let's just say it won't change. Because of this, people had problems with two different versions of events from Season 1. They didn't like the fact that some people could play with their friends who are really high rank and get boosted up, carried to a higher rank. More on that in a second. They also didn't like that when said team did play together, that it would tank their Q rank, because if you learned anything about averages, if you take the mean of a set of numbers, outliers are going to drastically drag that average one way or another. Which is why sometimes the median is a better tool when we're trying to talk about averages, but in my opinion, I would rather the group Q get matched at the highest rank of your group. So that way, two things happen. There's none of this notion of a single high-ranked DPS carry player is getting matched with his friends at lower rank, play against a group in a lower rank, and completely dominate them. That's gone. Instead, he can drag his friends up to be among peers at that higher rank. Now, you might have that question about, but what about boosting your friends? Isn't that unfair? But to me, if your friends are able to play at that higher rank and not lose, where's the downside? That they were able to quickly get up to that place? I don't see the value in purposefully creating ELO hell for people to be stuck in. If you have friends who are good at the game and you can support them and win against higher ranked people, you should rank up. It should be that easy. What is a problem, and even more important to me, but I don't seem to hear it enough, is the problem of having to play against a 6-stack when you have maybe a 3 or a 4 and you get a couple randoms. Now, even if that 6-stack is at your rank, unless you get the best type of random teammates, you are very likely to lose. If they make even small decisions that are outside the synergy of the strategy of your team, it's going to throw you off and it's going to feel impossible to play and not a good experience. Because of this, I would much rather have the system that just opens up my ability to queue with my friends regardless of their rank if I want to, because let's face it, if I know that they're really bad, why would I want to tank my rank in the system? Why would I want to drag them up into a rank that they can't perform at, likely going to make me lose my rank? Let me make that decision for myself. If I have a friend who's at a lower rank, but I know I can train them in the team environment to play better, let me. And if we try that and lose against the better ranked players on the other team, they get ELO and we don't. Where's the harm in that? But if you put a cap on people's ability to party with each other, you're going to have less parties. People already don't want a 6-stack because they don't want to play other 6-stacks. That's how the culture is now. And now you're doubling down on that because I can't even group up as a 6-stack. The game plays completely differently, first of all, when you're playing in an organized team. And I think we need to incentivize people to do that. For one, make the game better overall, make a better community, have a community that's less individualistic and selfish in their playstyle, but also so that there's just more 6-stacks for them to play each other, so there can be less games where there's 2 3s playing a full 6, ending in a bloodbath. Now, of course, there's already been talk about making clans or other types of teams like that, whether it has a separate rank or not. I don't really mind. At the end of the day, I don't really care what the number is. All I care about is the value of the matchmaking experience and the game itself. And of course, playing with my friends. Because I've already talked about how difficult it can be to coordinate with randoms who just have their own philosophy on the game, and the game they're playing might not even be Overwatch. It might be 360 no-scope Hanzo arrows from across the map 1 out of 1,000 times they shoot, even in ranked play. So I'd rather not deal with that if I can help it. To be honest, most of the issues that people are bringing up on the forums don't affect me at all. What I want worked on is the experience with queuing up with random teammates. Sometimes it feels we get lucky, we get people that at least want to communicate, want to cooperate, want to have a discussion about our approach to the game, but most of the time it feels like we just get people who lock Hanzo and yell at everyone else for not healing them, even though there's two flankers on top of the healers killing them at all times, and the healers in spawn because you didn't protect them. What I would like is something that's unrelated to the matchmaking process, but something that I think could help inform a reputation about players in matchmaking. Here's my suggestion. There should be a karma system attached to your profile on your stats page for that season, and maybe it's even visible from the tab menu, that gives you a sort of score, like Rotten Tomatoes, of the experiences people have with you. When you pull this up, it should show you your pick history from the entire season, just down a line. So you can see if it's Hanzo, 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 Genji, Hanzo, 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 Hanzo. So your teammates know what you like to pick, but also feedback, some sort of diagram or percentages or something, feedback to vote on what players do. You can put positive stuff, supportive teammate, works as a team, plays support for us, thank you so much, will you marry me? But also that you could put negative things like uncooperative, toxic behavior, things like that. And I don't want this to affect the matchmaking at all, but it's something that people might value, right? Because if you put a little metal on that, people are going to want that to be one way or the other. And when we get queued with someone who picks Hanzo against two flankers and a Winston diving him constantly, and he's completely toxic about it and refuses to change, we won't be surprised when we see his rating really low. Or, on the flip side, when there's that really sick Mercy player who's very cooperative, they might have a great rating. In fact, if this was publicly visible, people might want to just add friends based on these ratings alone. Because I think right now all we have is look at that player's profile and see their statistics. You can see how much time they have played in different characters, but I don't think that tells you enough about who they are. What do you guys think about all this? I think the number one criticism that has to be levied in this video is that the gap between seasons has been too long. I think next time they have to be workshopping stuff in the PTR before the season goes down, because the PTR ranked season has felt like an entirely separate season. Because those of you who aren't on the PTR have had no ranked play this entire time. That must feel horrible. But I really do want to know what you guys think about this. At the end of the day, whichever direction they go, someone's going to be unhappy with the decision. They can't please everybody, but those are just my thoughts on it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. We upload videos each and every day. I've been Frito for your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.